Paykel. I'm the host of Hardware Meetup. This is David, my sidekick, who does all the IT stuff. Thank you for coming to our manufacturing event today. Can you put up your hand if you've been to a Hardware Meetup event before? Awesome. Also a lot of new faces too. Because this is a very packed event today. So really great to see such a big turnout for manufacturing. So for this event, we're partnering with AMA. We have Catherine here.
Hi everyone, great turnout. Great to be here. So I'm the CEO of Advancing Manufacturing Aotearoa, and I love my job. There are just so many cool people in manufacturing across New Zealand pushing each other to go further, faster, higher. At the bottom of the world, the future is being made, and I can't think of a better place than to host this event than Outset Ventures at Future House. So AMA, Advancing Manufacturing Aotearoa, we exist to help the manufacturing sector realise its full potential, and that's about bridging gaps across the ecosystem, sparking collaboration and connecting the right people and programs at the right time. So really delighted to partner with Michaela and David with this event today, and enjoy. Is that 1 minute?
Yep. Woo, excellent. Thank you.
And go to amanz.nz.
Matt Rowe, Outset Ventures. We do two things. We run this campus, so you're sitting in the community hub. We've got 6,000 square metres below us and about 24 companies on the board over there, where we host companies doing hard tech, deep tech, what do you want to call. And we also run venture, so we're running investment as well. We've got a second fund that we're deploying. We've already invested in 13 companies across New Zealand, some of them here in this campus. And that's pretty much what we do. And pretty proud of our history. 2 unicorns out of this place, but Lantech and Rocket Lab were both started here alongside emerging ones as well. So that's us. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thanks for coming along.
My name's Tiger. I'm from Blender Design. We're a product development consultancy based on the North Shore. A lot of our clients are here at Outset, including Respirac and Ruminant Biotech. We offer end-to-end product development services ranging from business consulting all the way through to traditional industrial design engineering, down to manufacturing, procurement, and supply chain, and more recently, in-house contract manufacturing. Happy to help any new projects, or if you guys just want to have a yarn about a cool mechanism you found.
Right, I'm Brent with GPC Electronics. We've been long-time supporters of the Hardware Meetup. We're a contract electronics manufacturer, so we build electronic things for other people. We'll do design for manufacture, design for test, design for source, and then we'll buy all the parts, build them, test them at either PCBA or complete box build, final assembly levels, and then ship them back to you or your customers or your warehouse. We've got 3 factories, one down in Christchurch, one in Sydney, Australia, and one in Shenzhen, China. And we do industrial controls, power electronics, defence, aerospace. We don't do consumer electronics, but otherwise we do everything else, right through from piloting and prototyping up to extremely high volumes. In our China factory, we do 3 million PCBAs a year for an automotive customer. And we also have a customer in Napier who we do 15 PCBAs for every couple of months. That's about us. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brent. And last up we have Braymac. Awesome. First of all, I heard you told me earlier today that you two actually met how many years ago working at Fisher & Paykel Appliances? We won't count. And so you fell in love over washing machines, I hear.
Thanks to Fisher & Paykel.
Yeah, yep. Fisher & Paykel Appliances, who we also have speaking tonight. Awesome. So, could you tell me about what Define Instruments does?
Yeah, well, Define Instruments is started in 1998, and we started in the automation and control industry, and we've been making devices ever since. You know, we've got hundreds of thousands of our devices all around the world, controlling, measuring instruments and things like that. I thought we were a little bit old, 1998, but I'm glad our company there, Fisher & Paykel's, at least almost 100 years old, and I know E&L themselves are. I went to their 70-year anniversary. I don't know
wow.
where Matthew is, but we actually are young. Makes us look young. So
well, you are older than I am. The company.
So what's happened with our company? We've moved into this, and this is our passion now. We're Data Sparks Action, and we do IoT remote monitoring for the industrial sector, and that's really where we are now. So
Awesome.
got a controller over there if you want to have a look at it. Oh, okay. Yeah, so this is what we have, this hardware. We've got our own manufacturing plant in Albany. That's all designed, manufactured here. It's like a PLC sensor, very good analog stuff. It sends stuff up to our cloud. Our cloud's all in AWS, and so we've got people working, in the hardware, firmware, software, or cloud stuff, and then we have all the data that sparks your action from there, and we print out things to get. We're really interested in making the data work for your company, right? So this one here is printing out to-do lists for maybe filling up tanks or whatever, and then we have APIs to go out to third-party systems like CRMs and Zeros and all that type of thing.
Cool. So to be clear, so you people can plug in like sensors, for example, into your module, and then that sends all the data up to the cloud.
Yeah. So it's an end-to-end thing. So we've done it really. Our whole motto is to make it as easy as possible, right?
Yep.
So, and it's very flexible. So we're not just a single market. We do a whole pile of different markets, right? So one day we might be that one over there is a lift station controller. Last week we were talking about inventory monitoring for warehouses in Walmart. So we've got a big broad offering.
Cool. And could you give me an example of how your projects work? So I see on the screen we have an example of one of your customers, right?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this one. This is we partnered with a company in the States, in Texas, that their model is pest control, and they have, if you're rich, typically rich, you have piped spraying systems around your backyard that will automatically spray for mosquitoes so you can enjoy the outside. And this company had a very old model where they had absolutely no visibility what their customers were doing with their system. They were overloaded with customer service issues, and they were mostly people frustrated with empty tanks, because actually I forgot to mention each house has a tank of pyrethrin, and then that's regularly sprayed according to a timer around their backyard. But they were getting flooded with customer calls, empty tanks. And they also flat batteries in these little dongles, and the little dongle allowed them to do a manual spray. But these customers could not change a battery, and they were absolutely flooded with these things. They also had a very fixed schedule, and what they would do is every 3 months a customer would get visited by a truck, and they could visit them and the tank could be empty and not need a visit at all. And that was just basically wasting labour and escalating their costs. And because they were so swamped with these costs, they couldn't scale and they couldn't grow. So we basically transitioned them. So we put our IoT systems in each house. We were measuring the tank levels in each house, as well as other factors that I won't go into. And we transitioned them from a fixed service schedule to a dynamic daily schedule service, where they would get a printout that prioritised customers with low or empty tanks, and they would only visit those customers that needed it, or they would get feedback that our system wasn't spraying or working, and they would prioritise those ones. And what really resulted was that suddenly they got huge customer retention. The customers were very happy. Oh, I forgot to say, where's the app? Where's your phone? We made an app. We made a little app. So customers could manually do a quick spray if you were going to have a barbecue and you thought, I want to do a quick spray before everybody comes. So we put the power in all their hands, and no flat battery.
You got to charge up your own battery.
Yeah, that's right. So basically their customer retention went through the roof, and they increased their efficiency so much that they went from 10 trucks down to 2. And
That's impressive.
Getting that efficiency meant that they could move to a franchise model and grow the company, and that was really their ultimate goal.
Awesome. So how did you take them down your design process?
That's the next slide. This is the way we do it. So the first step is that we do a deep dive data strategy with them, and we've got a process by which we do that. And we dived into their service model pain points, and also too, we also started to understand what their aspirations for the company were. where they wanted to grow and why they weren't growing. And so the next step is after we've done that, and we're also assessing what data they're collecting, and in this case they weren't collecting anything. And the second step is that we developed an IoT system to elevate their service model, and we gave them the sensors that they needed to do. We worked out how to measure the level of the tank, and we gave them real-time visibility on each customer, so they can deep dive into the whole system and look at any one customer at any time. And we gave them the mobile app as well, and the dashboard, which they could control it all from. And then the next step, the number three, which is, no, sorry, back. Number three, the most important thing is sparking action. And that was, we gave them the prioritised daily lists every day. They print that out in the morning, and that gives them their list of what they can do. And then the final step, ongoing support. As they got more sophisticated, they're demanding more reports. Like, for example, now they want to know which customers are using the most spray, and who's spraying regularly, and who are they making money out of, and who they're not. So we're starting to generate those sort of reports for them.
Yep. Awesome. And could you walk me through your manufacturing process on, like, how do you take them coming to you with an idea, and then how do you actually get it to them having a fully fledged product?
Right. Well, most of just the first part is most of the stuff we've already got products for, like the Mosniks. We've got a very flexible system. So, but on a general design thing, we've got our engineers above the factory, right? And so they're very integrated with the factory, right? So, and when we're designing a new product, first thing is we're saying, well, what's the testers going to look like, right? Because designing the testers, are really actually can be a lot more complicated than a product, right? And especially if you want to scale, right? You don't want to have a lot of engineers looking at and trying to solder things, right? So we've got really invest a lot in our own testers, and our products sometimes have 20 different ranges, so they've got a lot of stuff. The other thing is they're also looking at sourcing, right? Because even though, we'll talk about it, but sourcing is becoming a major problem for manufacturing, and which manufacturer of the IC are you going to use? Do you use the best one? I know if Kayla comes to me with a ST part, she won't, right? Because she knows we just won't buy ST because they've screwed us over big time over COVID, and so it's worth doing your homework and making sure that the company is is interested in your business, right? And who are going to support you. So that's important. So all of this just happens second nature for us now. So all our engineers, always down in production if there's any issues or anything. Do you want to add anything, Candy?
Just in the design team that we've got, you can talk about all the different types of engineers and that you've got in there. And typically we use our product, but the engineers will be writing specific macros or adapting product for customers, won't they? You can talk about the team that you've got in design, all the different engineers you've got.
Yeah, well, so we've got about 8 people in our design team. So, like I said, firmware, hardware, and
architects.
Yeah. There's also a couple of contractors like Mr. Charles over there for another project. But yeah, okay, that's probably about that on that.
Oh, and then in production, that's Anthony standing in front of our surface mount line on the end there. And just in terms of our production process, well, that's just making sure that we're producing high quality products in an efficient way so we remain competitive on the world market, really.
Absolutely. So how you guys are quite unique is you essentially take their requirements, you then integrate it into your system, and then you also build all the surrounding hardware that needs and firmware and software that needs to put that all together. So the unique thing about you guys is you do it all in New Zealand, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Could you tell me a bit more about that?
Why we do it all in New Zealand?
You sound unsure. Before you were convincing me quite a lot, but
So one of our big customers in the US, they're quite new. They when we went to knock on their door, they said, "Where's your product made? If it's made in China, we're not interested. Just there's the door, right?" And so when we said it was made in New Zealand, that was it. We were in the door, right? So that was a big thing for us. And a lot of American customers are like that now. And in fact, they were so concerned about it, they were going to send people to come actually see our factory in case we had an AI factory, right? Right.
I think it was an excuse to come to New Zealand, quite frankly.
So so they're not accepting. Oh, here's made in. You put it in a box in New Zealand, say made in New Zealand. No, they want to know it's made in New Zealand. So that's one of the things. The other thing is we actually have over 300 PCBs we make ourselves, right? So it gets really complicated. Dealing with to manage that, right? Especially with a lot of products overseas, right? And a lot of them are quite small volume. We're not doing, for us, 10,000 a year is a good number. So a lot of them, a lot of our sub-assemblies, we might be building 100, 200, 300, and it's really hard to organise that if you're, working with, in different time zones, and if your testers break down, and you're 6 hours, and the engineers are gone home, and they got to fix it remotely and stuff. So that's a big reason why we do it.
What I really like is that our production, being in New Zealand, that the engineers are very engaged in our manufacturability in terms of keeping our costs down. Our team will absolutely hassle the engineers if they don't like something, if it's slowing them down. They'll say, you've got that component too close to that one, or they work collaboratively to actually bring our costs down.
Yep.
And make them manufacturable. You can see products, because we get quite a few come across us, ones where the engineer has not put any thought into the manufacturability of it, and that it drives up cost.
Absolutely.
And that's really, cost control is so important all the time. And that's what we really like. And also too, it also invests your engineers in the testing as well, and making sure that that's efficient as well. If our testers are too slow, they will tell our engineers big time that it's got to be faster, because they get very frustrated with it.
And it sounds like being in New Zealand, it makes it very easy to work with other New Zealand companies versus something overseas, right?
Well, I think just being so close, it just means that things get fixed quickly.
Yes.
We can adapt products very quickly after COVID, especially when components just dried up. We could quickly change design, find components that we could use, change the design and manufacture very quickly. So having that flexibility really, really mattered then. That really showed its advantages right there and then, really.
What's this?
Oh, what it takes to manufacture in New Zealand. Really, the only thing I can say from our own experiences with manufacturing is that you've got to have that passion and mindset from the top.
I don't have that.
No, he doesn't have that.
Adam has it.
I have that. Yeah.
Great pairing.
And you have to, especially if you're going to be lean and have that role of continuous improvement, that has to come from the top, that passion. I visit a lot of customers and other companies where they say they're lean and they have lean, but unless it comes from the top that drives the culture of lean throughout the organisation, it really just doesn't do it justice. And they'll say, oh yes, look, the customer said to me, that line over there is lean. I'm thinking, well, what about that one over there? What about the rest of the company? And that's really, really, you have to have those sort of things. In terms of lean, I was completely self-taught. I found a company that was very passionate, and that was Tate Electronics. And I went down to Christchurch, and they were just so wonderful and shared their lean journey with me, got me really excited. I then started to teach myself lean, and my guru in lean is Paul Akers, the 2-second lean man. He's just my absolute guru. And I found his lean very practical, that the whole team could share that, and practical strategies that we could apply lean and continuous improvement to everything we do all day. And so that's my 2 bits worth of lean. And obviously retaining a skilled workforce across engineering production, having really skilled people who are passionate about what they do, which is quite hard in this day and age. And obviously the other part of our journey is to just increase your automation. That when I look at what we started with and where we are now, the levels of automation. Our biggest growth has been in automation and in our lean and continuous improvement. They've been our biggest growth.
So, like, how has the company changed over time from how you started to versus to where you are now? Because I'm sure the electronics industry and everything, manufacturing, has changed so much.
You can have a go at that.
Yes.
What's the next slide?
Yep, there we go. Lots of challenges, I see.
Okay, so, I mean, when we started in '98, we were having a 12-week lead time for a component. We thought, oh my God, that is terrible. We used to get on the phone and yell at Braymac or whoever, where the hell's my component? But, now, 20 weeks, 24 weeks, 1 year is normal. There's a lot more uncertainty out there. We went through COVID. That really showed it up, and people started, panic buying and all that type of stuff. And it's even now with this fuel crisis, it's pushed out again. And we didn't have tariffs or anything like that to worry about back then. It was now we're so much more geopolitical, right? It's getting worse from that point of view. The other thing we find is component obsolescence is a big thing. So you really got to be careful when you're picking your components these days. A lot of them are going end of life, and if you pick the wrong components and you're either unlucky or just pick the wrong one, you'll find that some components aren't even lasting 5 years before they're starting to end of life them, right?
I think we were talking earlier, and you said that, for example, whatever is the most popular component will be what stays as well. So you have to make sure you risk it by getting a component and hope it will be the popular one, because otherwise the other ones will just disappear.
Yeah, otherwise you just spend your time redesigning things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, it's the supply chain volatility. It's just much harder. And so the sourcing, like now, we're carrying a lot more stock. For some of our customers and us, we carry probably some parts, probably 8 months stock, right? Or a year's stock. So we got millions of dollars of components sitting there. So if the world slows down and no fuel, we can still make stuff, right?
Didn't you say that during COVID you had to rely on that quite a lot?
Yeah, we did. COVID, we actually did well because you have to be if you're not in the manufacturing or the purchasing, as soon as you find things going out, you're trying to counter that, right? Mm-hmm. And if some people come to us like 6 months after COVID started, they said, "Oh, I need you to build this." I said, "Oh, sorry, we can't build that for a year," type things. But we managed to get like a 95% on time delivery with COVID because we were right in amongst.
Because we got a whiff of it was happening, and we bought, and we notice now that even more that there's more panic buying out there, and you've got to keep your finger on the pulse. Who came out of China for the? Is it Onsemi?
Which one?
The BUK and stuff like that.
Oh,
They just pulled out of NXP, just pulled out of China and gone. So that lead time is 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and that could just happen overnight. So you've got to keep your finger on the pulse and hear whispers out there about what's happening if you can.
Yep.
And that procurement is so much more harder, and you've got to manage it so much better now than we used. We just didn't know how good we used to have it before COVID. We really had no idea.
Yep. Absolutely. And in my internship, I needed to use STM microcontrollers, like the little chips, and there was a massive shortage, but you could still buy the dev boards. So my job was to try use a heat gun and try melt it off the board. And we only had 10, so I did it with the first one, and then I completely melted the chip. And they were like, "Okay, no, you're not doing that. We will get someone else to do that."
Yeah, but you need skilled staff to do that.
You do. Yeah, I did not know. I was an intern.
You don't underestimate that. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, but that was how desperate it was just to get those chips. You could buy it in dev boards, but not the actual chip.
And I could even see people starting to panic buy with all this oil crisis now. Absolutely. And everyone's taking this as an opportunity to increase the prices. We can't, they give a 25% increase because copper's going up and things like that. But we also found that I think Anthony can say, like that geopolitical thing, a lot of time, because we deal with America, they'd say, well, we're going to wait and see what Trump's going to do. Yep. And they would put things off. Now they've given up, they're just getting on with it because nobody can predict what he's going to do. Yep. So, which is quite good that they've actually got past that and they just want to do business now.
Yep.
They're not really too worried. They don't like the tariffs, but they're learning to live with them.
Absolutely.
Which is good.
So are there any like key learnings you would share with anyone who's about to start in their manufacturing journey from what both of you have learnt?
Oh, crikey, so much.
I think you know, if you go, I mean, you got to just make sure there's so much to do without manufacturing, right? You know, there's compliance, there's marketing, there's sales. So, you know, you're best to concentrate on that until you really, you know, got your manufacturing going, right? That's all I'd say. Just get everything else, and if you've got time to do manufacturing and you've got the passion, then look at it, right?
And I think the other thing you said earlier is knowing your design really well, right? When we talked earlier. Do you want to expand on that a little bit? Oh, no? Okay. Yeah, just about like really knowing your design and your requirements, because I think you were talking about how a lot of people just show up and they don't really know what they want, or they don't understand the design fully.
Do you mean the customer doesn't know what they
Sorry,
want?
I meant the customer.
Oh, yeah, well,
as the customer,
The
you
customer,
need to
yeah.
know.
Well, that's why we do that data strategy with them, so we pull all that information out of them. Sometimes they are very clear what they want, but that data strategy just gives us both a really clear plan of what they've got and where they want to be, really.
Yep.
And then we put all the nuts and bolts together, and that's been a huge change in our way we do our business, is to do that data strategy with them, rather than just going, oh, here's the tech, we can do it.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you have a customer in this room that wanted to come to you, what would be that's about to start their journey getting their stuff manufactured? Yeah. What do you want from them? Sorry.
Oh, I see. I think if you are going to do high volumes, if you're going to do high volume stuff, then certainly, obviously, getting it made in China, as someone else alluded to, that's really the most cost-effective way of doing it. It all depends if your customer demands that they want it to be made in New Zealand and they're scared of it being made in China. So you've just got lots of options, really.
Yep.
And if it's a single product too.
If it's a single product, that's quite different, really.
That's a different.
But if you're going to design something, it's got to be designed for manufacturability, because that will drive a lot of your costs. And the chips you choose, everything. You've got to really, really think that through.
Yep.
And have a strategy on how you're going to design it.
Awesome.
That would be my advice.
Sweet.
Because we have to make it.
David's been giving me the eye, so.
Yep. Q&A time. Anyway, thank you so much for sharing your journey. No, you're still being held hostage here. Sorry. And me with a mic. So yeah, could everyone upvote your favourite questions on Slido, and we will ask them. So to start up, define instruments. How did you land that American Aussie customer? Was it inbound or outbound?
No, we have a office in the US and a sales office, and we have a network of unique in America as representatives, rather than distributors. The representatives, I don't know if everyone knows about what a representative in America is, but they represent your company, and they don't sell your product. They find the customers for you, and then and they represent you, and then you sell the product to the customer, and then you give them a commission, right? So these people are really fired up to take you, and they get us indoors because they've got the relationships. So it's all about relationships. So these reps will have relationships with lots of companies, and they know Bill from whatever, and they get us in, and that's how we got that customer through a rep.
Mm-hmm. Could you tell us about how you deal with security in your IoT platform and systems?
Well, I'm not the security guy, but it's all done with AWS and authentication, and we're using a lot of their defence products, and two-factor authentication, and it's pretty much when I'm selling. If you guys don't sell too technical, but I always say we're using the same sort of stuff as the bank's using for the security, all the encryption and authentication stuff.
What parts did ST stiff you on?
Just the ARM chips. They the problem with some of those big companies, we had all scheduled orders on them. And they said, okay, we're not going to give you your orders. When COVID hit, so they 3 years later they ended up delivering them to us, right, on our door, and we just sent them straight back, didn't we?
They said, no, you can't cancel it. Yeah. We will tell you when we will deliver it, when we feel like it. And we won't tell you when that is. So you can imagine. They're not.
And you said that was 3 years
And
later?
I said to the engineers, no way are you putting that part in again.
So,
Yep, easy, yep. That's
Wow.
what they're like. No, they're like, we're going to look after all our big customers and you're going to get nothing.
and that's,
But not Braymac. Braymac didn't do that. Braymac are lovely and
We love
wonderful. They
Braymac.
look after you.
and, yeah, and also, what was I going to say about that? Forgotten. We lost my, anyway. Yeah.
Cool.
But that's a problem now, is that also once COVID hit, all the big companies like Microsoft and all these guys, they didn't have very good contracts with the semiconductor places. And so the first thing they did is negotiate much stronger ones, right? Which now means that if we have this again, it's actually worse for us small guys because, you know, they've got written contracts that, no, you have to use every silicon wafer you've got on our product if you want to, you know, sell them to us, right? So it's actually much worse for small people.
Okay,
What
I'm going to ask 2 small other questions because we're running out of time a bit.
Okay.
Having your own production line gives you lots of flexibility. How long does it take to go from a concept to the first boards coming off the line?
Just,
Depends on the complexity
yeah,
of the board.
yeah. But sometimes we do it in like a week, almost.
Wow.
Well, a week to get a prototype, yeah.
Yep.
A week, you know, sometimes.
Yeah, we can be really quick.
Other times, I don't want to answer that, how long.
How do you balance keeping safety stock levels against running a lean organisation and just in time?
Well, just in time's gone.
Oh, yeah.
So
No, that's really, yeah.
Doesn't mean you're not lean, does it?
No, you can. Really, you've just got to look at your categories, like with ICs. We figure out what we have to hold, and it's based a lot on your lead time. And you've got to predict things like that. Other components that are simple, that's very easy to keep that low. It's kind of continuously fluid, and you've just got to manage it. And you got to look at it and think, well, I've got to keep lots of that because that's risky, and it's not easy. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much for both of you coming and joining me today. I loved hearing about your guys' journey with manufacturing.
Thank you.
And company. Thank you. Now we are going to go through the little fun icebreaker things I got you to all write down at the start and held up the whole signing in process. So thank you for bearing with me for that. So me and some others have shortlisted our favorite ones to some of the prompts. So any new skills you are learning at the moment? Started learning Arduino. I'm not an engineer, so I have no idea, okay? Favorite hobby, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and amateur radio and martial arts. Light. I might be misreading this handwriting. Cool. Why did you come to this event? Looking for mentors for teenagers starting their hardware journey. Awesome. A cool project you're working on, 6-axis robot upgrade for assembly of PCBs. That's pretty cool. Something cool you've learned this week. Adaptive layer heights and parallel parking. While parking at this event, just 5 minutes ago, 2-point turn. No, it was not me. Share a recent win. I got a new job at Procreate. Woohoo! Big clap. And progress with offshore manufacturer on first big build. Very exciting. Cool. Anyway, I thought that would be fun. I quite like those answers, so if you all like that, maybe we'll do it again. But cool. So next up, we are going to have Athir from Fisher & Paykel Appliances. Could you tell me a bit about what Fisher & Paykel Appliances does?
So just a bit of history to Fisher & Paykel. Fisher & Paykel was founded in 1934, founded by Wolf Fisher and Morris Paykel. It started as an assembly company where they bring all the parts for appliances and put them together, and then started into the design world. And in 1985, that was a big hit for Fisher & Paykel when they launched the Gentle Annie. This is the first washer or washing machine with a brushless DC motor and being controlled by electronics. And then moving on, 5 years later, the smart drive technology was launched, and that was another hit for Fisher & Paykel, because now you have that direct drive. That's what we call the motor is attached straight to the ball of the washing machine, and can sense every single details of the fabric. So it can detect the fabric load, the texture, and it can adjust the program accordingly. So that's why name came as Smart Drive. And then the next big hit 7 years later, which is the launch of the distro. Now, still the only product with it's a dishwasher, but it's a tub, like a couple of tubs. They can work independently, and that was a very, very popular product for Fisher & Paykel. The next one was in 2008, which is the launch of CoolDraw. Now, CoolDraw is an underbench, 900 millimeter wide refrigerator. Well, call it as a cool box, because you can set it to become a freezer, a wine cellar, pantry. So the range it can give from -25 to all the way to 7 degrees or even 10 degrees.
Awesome.
So that was good. And the CoolDraw, around that time, that's when Fisher & Paykel started sort of establishing itself to become a leading luxury appliance brand, which is at the moment that's our focus. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's a bit of history. Yeah. So our brand vision is to be the most human-centered appliance brand in the world, which we basically try our journey is to better understand the customer, what they want. For example, with our laundry, now we call it the fabric care, is basically, it's our aim not to only clean the clothes, but we want to set the right settings for the customer to make their clothes last longer. So it's not about sort of keep washing them until they, they think you beat the heck out of them. But the mindset is to preserve them as well. Yeah. So this is example of our appliances, and as you can see, it's kind of we started moving towards a minimalist design. Now you've got over there, that's a distro. Those are single distros. When you shut them, you actually don't know if it's a washing machine, or distro, or dishwasher, or even it's a pantry. So it's seamless. You walk into the kitchen, and probably next slide will show you. Those are the wine cabinets. This would be a fridge. You push it and it will open. So it's all seamless. The least, we call it minimalist design. You get other brands, they put a giant 10-inch or 21-inch LCD and stuff. We don't do that. So as you can see, this is a cooktop. Now in the cooking area, we are moving away from gas cooktops to induction. Also, we are learning more about how to, all the recipes, or provide help for the customer. And this is our fabric care suite. So you've got the washing machines and dryers in pairs, and this one is the clothes care cabinet. So it's like a dryer and refresher for the clothes as well.
Awesome.
And all of our appliances are connected, and you can check the notifications. You can control them to a certain extent. You get the downloads. You get of the latest tips for customers. Yeah.
And so, yeah, what does your design and manufacturing process look like?
So we've got, for example, our the project manager or the product manager we call chief engineer. So basically, chief engineer, he's more aware or she's more aware of what the requirements of the market is. So, for example, we take a dishwasher. They know what the customer wants, what the market wants. They translate all those requirements into, call them customer interest. They define the customer interest and they push it back to the product development where, because with the dishwasher or any products, we've got the electronics, we've got the hardware, we've got software, and we've got the big part of it, obviously, structures, mechanical, the pump, the wash systems, and all that. We get the requirements. Each team, they get their own, look at the requirements, and obviously each requirement you can solve it in multiple ways. There's not only one way to solve an issue or that requirement. So we call that set-based solution. So we've got multiple solutions. They run in parallel, and we evaluate all of them. And then one of them will hit the brief in terms of costs, reliability, speed to market, resource, all those stuff, and also how well it hits that requirement or fulfill that requirement. And then once we get we call it a yellow solution, because the yellow solution means it's a solution that we're confident that we're gonna be able to implement. There's no unknowns in there. Then we get the concept paper. From the concept paper, we move on. We develop all those options, and then we get, if you can see, we get to implementing phase where we start building the PCBs or designing PCBs and writing the software. And then thereon, we get the prototypes. Those prototypes will go into our products that's been put together for the first time. And that's been done in the factory. In the factory, we call that milestone is an engineering trials, where this is a trial that engineers collaborate with the workers in the factory to show them how to put this product together.
So you said you fly like a bunch of people over to Thailand?
Yeah,
because that's where the factories
because
are?
our manufacturing in Thailand, so a bunch of engineers will fly there, show them how it's done, make sure that where the important details to take care of, and then we build the first engineering trial products, and then we ship it back. We start our testing, and obviously testing, we could end up with some issues. We resolve it again, and we might do another trial. And then in the end, we go through compliance, reliability, all that stuff. So the product in the end is ready to go to production. Now, at that point in time, we set our processes and systems so that Thailand, the Thailand factory, is capable of running a trial by themselves. So we call that production trials, meaning that there's no involvement of engineering. Everything is being taken care of and defined. And after that, we get the production trial going, and there's usually a couple of weeks. We get the results, all good. Once everything's happy, then we'll push a button and it's production thereon. So that's the journey.
Awesome,
Yeah.
cool. And how has the manufacturing process for Fisher & Paykel appliances changed over time from when you were originally to where you are now, which is also a more luxury product line, so it's a bit different too, right?
So I've been there for a long time, not as long as
An unknown number.
22 years. So Fisher & Paykel started, when I was there, we started producing everyday appliances. So for the entry market, and we were delivering, we were making sure that performance is top notch and the reliability is top notch. But we always been competing with other brands, and those brands they can afford. It's becoming a competition there, and then throughout slowly we started looking at the market and go, okay, well that's when we started, because we're doing well. I mean, our product development team, industrial designers are really good in making the product look pretty, and slowly started going up into the premium market. Now, migration from that, like there are two aspects of it. When we were every day, you've got volume.
Yep.
And that's a different game. So, like reliability, all that stuff, that's a different game. The other aspect of it is when you have premium, your volume maybe is lower, but your attention to details is very important. So, for example, you've seen the photos where those two, distros, when they shut, they need to be perfect. So that puts more effort on design, more effort on how we do things and how we do things efficiently. One thing I would like to add as well throughout the product development process, we started to reuse knowledge more, capture the knowledge and reuse it. It's something we call that, we rely on Lambda, which is probably this one here. So basically, you come up with there's an issue there. And what happens is all of us, and I'm one of them, because production is pressing, you've got production in 2 weeks, you need to fix the problem. So I go, okay, well, that's a problem. I'm going to use this. It worked. Great. Release it. What happens is I didn't address the real issue because I didn't understand the root cause.
Just a Band-Aid.
Exactly. So you start patching things up, and that's not good. That will actually took us more time and more iterations. So even throughout our design process, we do loop a lot, where this look, ask, model, and discuss and act. Basically, the guts of it is you need to understand exactly the problem. You need to understand what you need. So, for example, with anyone who's doing any design, just don't jump into solution. Just relax, try and understand what the brief is, and we do a lot of calculations, simulations, and then we do testing. And those three should match. Once they match, you've got a model that you can tune, and you're almost guaranteed that it's going to hit the market and it will be perfect. So that's, and in the process is you capture what you learned in a way that you can reuse it. So our designs, we've got, for example, refrigeration. We've got one module that's been sitting, like we've been doing it for over 10, 15 years.
Wow.
We're still going. We still reuse it. And that makes our development much efficient and also makes us focus on other research and areas. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks, Athir. Sweet. We'll head into Slido now. Send in your questions. Upvote the questions you like.
Just want to say thank you for it, because when I came first time to New Zealand, I saw this like efficient Paykel washing machine in my householder's shed, and I said, oh shit, some logo New Zealand thing. And after I start to actually work with it, and I said, oh shit, it's got like a button at garment, and it's open immediately. It doesn't wait like 2 minutes. I said, oh shit, this guy's a smart. Thank you for that. It's really cool.
Awesome. Cool. Oh, 8 votes. How did offshoring your manufacturing affect your R&D process?
There was some challenges. I was there when I was in at the moment we are in East Tamaki, and our electronics was in East Tamaki. It was just across the road. It was it was just across the road, so it was much easier in a way, and for a problem to come up, and you just walk in and you just see the problem, you fix it on the spot. Same with manufacturing. It is a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. Being in Thailand, when we first started, there's a language barrier and different cultures. Thai people are very lovely people, but they don't know how to say no, But over time, they upskilled, and they are now very reliable. I mean, when we have a problem, they're very proactive. They're trying to because they know how we work, they know how the company works, so they're trying to distill the problem, and we basically have to put an effort, like after hours, we just get on the phone and with Teams and technology, with cameras and stuff. So it's much better than what it used to be. But yeah, that's
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Fisher & Paykel Appliances bring back the washing machine national anthems. I didn't know that was a thing.
Not sure. I'll.
Does that fit into a luxury brand now? Maybe it does.
Yeah, it's that national anthem was really good. It was actually a project that was on time and actually ahead of time. And the software engineer was like, well, I've got ROM and that micro. I'll just put in the national anthem. But that picked up, and then we started having, for each market, the national anthem.
So when was this? Like, is just do all washing machines have the?
Not the latest one, no. It's the old the top loader. Yeah, they do play sound, and yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How does my Fisher & Paykel induction stove know to turn off if I put my wrist with a metal watch on top of it as opposed to a frying pan?
Yeah. So that's basically compliance requirements. Basically, it's there is a threshold. I mean, your frying pan is a minimum size, and anything smaller than that, it will detect it. So basically, it's the induced current, and it senses the current, and it just checks if it's real or not. Yeah.
I'm slightly concerned because I feel that the person that asked that question actually did this to find out. You can put up your hand if you want. Anyway, appliances tend to have fairly long product lifetimes. How do you integrate feedback into your designs for released products?
Yeah, so because we do get, I mean, we do get field products from the field, modules from the field. We do analyze them, like the quality and reliability, and we've done some changes to our design to make it more robust, and also more robust. Our electronics, the module, it kind of protects itself if there is if the heater or the motor sort of shorts out. For example, the top loader, because it's a mechanical, the harness can wear out over a long time, and if you short the windings of the phases of the motor, then before we had that circuit, you would blow the module. Now it will just stop. We'll try again and stop, and then gives a fault. Say check the motor winding. So it not only increases the reliability and also improves the fault diagnostics as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Last question. I don't know if you can answer this though. What new innovations can we expect Fisher & Paykel from Fisher & Paykel Appliances in the foreseeable future? Luxury devices.
Yeah.
Suggested hoverboard. That sounds luxury to me. People orientated.
It would be with my thought would be more the interaction to the customer, and try and sort of not bother the customer of so I wanna do a wash cycle of some clothes. You don't need to select the like the water level, what type of garment it is. So it's it would be good, and I think we are going to that phase where just press one button and the whole washing machine takes care of itself. Same with fridges. Our fridges are, I mean, it's not because I work for Fisher and Paykel, but the fridges, for example, the improved PID control loop, the stability, the uniform temperature control within the cabinet. That's something we keep trying push and make it more and more perfect to preserve more food longer. And it's anything to do with the customer that we're trying to connect more with the customer.
Yeah. Absolutely. Awesome. Sweet. Thank you so much for joining me
All
today,
right.
Athir.
No problem.
Righty, now it's my favorite time, which is pitch time.
So, you might have seen it over there. This is a map of all the trains in Melbourne.
Cool.
It can do live tracking. Currently, it's doing it at 600 times speed, and it is kind of ridiculous how many trains there are. I did Auckland and Wellington last year. Sold really well. It turns out it is definitely enough for a full-time job, so this is what I'm doing now. I'm not complaining. It's fun. It even paid for me a trip to Australia, which still can't believe that happened. Yeah, if you've seen it before, I got it right on the first production run. It's got an ESP32 in the top corner. I did get the footprint slightly wrong, but it works now. Just sent out the first 30 of them this week. First one should be arriving in Australia tomorrow. So yeah, it's awesome. A lot of addressable LEDs, lots of fun stuff. If you have any questions, I'll be over there later.
You sell them, right? So people can come and buy them?
Yes,
Like
sell
you've
them,
done
people buy them.
Wellington, you've done Auckland.
Wellington, Auckland, sold over 500 of them now, which I still can't believe that people would actually want 500 of these, but there we go.
Awesome, thank you. Awesome. I was really lucky to meet Nico the other week. He's working on some super cool stuff, so I hold up this QR code for him.
Hey everyone, I'm Nico, and I'm the 17-year-old founder of Kiwi Hacks, which is New Zealand's first high school hackathon club, organising hackathons for high schoolers by high schoolers. On May 2nd and 3rd, we're organising a 24-hour hackathon at Grid Auckland for around 100 high schoolers. A few teams will be working with ESP32s, breadboards, resistors, 3D printers, and more, which is why I'm here tonight. We need volunteers to help us out with things like soldering stations and helping teams build awesome hardware projects. If you want to spend a Saturday watching young talent solder their first project and actually build something real, we want you. That could be following in your footsteps. And if you know anywhere to find some good hardware supplies, let us know as well. And this is a QR code if you are interested to be a mentor. And check out our website at kiwihacks.org. Thank you.
Yeah, honestly, what Nico's doing is so cool. Yeah, to be clear, high schoolers are running this hackathon for high schoolers to help them learn more about tech. So that's so cool. So please help them out if you're interested. Thanks.
Hi everyone, I'm Gareth. I'm a hardware product engineer, and by that I mean covering electronics design, embedded systems, checking that we're building the right thing from discovery and concepts through to production. I have 15 years of experience in hardware startups. I was the third employee at Swift Navigation, a precision GPS company in San Francisco, where I did everything from FPGA signal processing to cross-functional product and systems work for automotive safety. Before that, I worked on consumer electronics, did firmware and electronics design for a startup that was acquired by GoPro. I also built the Blackmagic Probe, which is an open source embedded systems debugging tool, which is still actively maintained, has thousands of GitHub stars years after I handed over the project. I have recently left basis in Auckland in a restructure, and I'm looking for opportunities. So if anyone's doing anything interesting in hardware, please come and talk to me if you think you can use my skills.
Awesome, thank you. Awesome, hi Benny.
Hello everyone, I'm Benny from Learn Digital. We do awesome hardware products. So that's embedded software and embedded hardware. And we have an open position So if any hardware engineer wants to come join our team, we would love to speak with you. That's Edith at the back there, who is the person you want to talk to if you would like to work on cool projects. So thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Benny.
Hi guys, my name's Kenneth. I'm a second year mechatronics student. I haven't made anything as cool yet, but I'm currently learning CAM and I'm falling in love with CAD and just making cool things. I'm part of APSS. I don't know if anyone knows it's the Auckland program for space systems with Paykel over there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I would love to find a place where I could hopefully pick up some skills, internship. And yeah, also I found a Fisher & Paykel dryer lying on someone's lawn, and I took it home. No, like they were giving it away, and no, like it's broken. I don't think they want it anymore. Anyways, I was thinking of, I have no idea what to do with it, so if anyone has any ideas, please talk to me.
Maybe you can make it sing.
Hey guys, I wasn't intending to pitch, but I might as well.
Yeah.
I'm Jose, I'm an industrial designer. I was born in Chile and I've been living in New Zealand for around 7-8 years. And I found that finding other industrial designers is like finding legendary Pokemon. It's like really hard and it's really rare. I don't know if anyone knows Pokemon here, but anyway. So yeah, if anyone here is an industrial designer or knows industrial designers, I will gladly talk to them. I mean, come and talk to me if you want.
I'm waving at you right now.
Oh, where? Oh,
Put up your hand if you're an industrial designer. Oh, there we go.
Only a few.
5.
Did you see what I mean? Anyway, I love engineers as well, but also come talk to me if you want an engineer. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you. No worries.
Hello everyone, I'm Hassam. I'm a final year PhD student in mechatronics engineering. I just want to introduce my PhD project about a platform for monitoring the health of the rotary machines. I have developed the whole the platform, including algorithm and the low-cost processor for real-time and remote monitoring the rotary machine, including gearboxes, motors, and bearings. The advantage is it's very, the algorithm is fully automated. It doesn't need much configuration, and it's reduced the cost of implementing on the low-cost computation system. And you can see my website in connicloud.com. And I'm happy for any sort of collaboration in like research or industry. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks. My day job is working at Crown Equipment, where we make really cool automated forklifts, so that's my boss.
All right, yeah, so Crown Equipment, forklifts, a lot of technology and things on there, and we're hiring 4 roles at the moment, not so much the embedded and low level, but we've got one on our display team, one on our cloud team, one on our safety system team, so that's more limited variability languages and functional safety. There's a 4th one.
It's my team on perception.
Oh yeah, your team, there we go. And one on our perception kind of research team. So yeah, anyone interested in those, find me afterwards or look me up on LinkedIn.
Or you can talk to me too.
Or talk to me, Taylor, yeah. Right,
cool, thanks Toby.
Cool. Hey everyone, my name is Sri. I work at Potentia as a senior recruiter. I've got a few vacancies for IoT testers. If you've tested in Linux environments, can dig deep into the kernels. I've got developer roles for Android operating system platform, AOSP environments, and Linux again. So if you're in the market, you've done hardware or firmware testing, or you've got IoT, just look me up on LinkedIn, Sri Nanduri. Drop me a message, I'll get back to you. But thank you.
Awesome, thanks. I've been quite involved with going to a lot of university events, and I've talked to a lot of students, and especially part 2 and 3 that are really struggling to get internships. I think a student that volunteers to do our marketing for us, I think she did computer systems, and she said only like 20% or 30% of her year and second year got internships. So it's a big problem, and obviously we need engineers coming through that have work hours to be able to graduate to then work for all of you. If you're a startup or a company that is interested in getting interns, we're very happy to help try connect you with some students, because yeah, it just seems like it's a really big problem. So David and I kind of want to do something to help out in a way. So and especially something like a networking event when things are more in person, it's more proactive. Yeah, so if you're interested in internships this year, come have a chat with me or David later, please. Yeah, exactly.
Just say that.
Yeah, Callahan, they will help pay for your intern. So yeah, it's basically free. So you should do it. Yep, awesome. And yeah, the students really need you. So please.
Cool. All right, done?
Yep. Awesome. Our last speaker, Matthew from E&L. Awesome. Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
Could you tell me a bit about what E&L does?
E&L's been around 80 years, a little bit less than F&P, but primarily started off doing servicing of marine electronics. A little bit later, we started picking up electronics companies and doing distribution of marine electronics. And at the moment, the company's kind of split in two, but we have quite a big team that does servicing of commercial shipping, navy, leisure boats, commercial fishing, and even small leisure boats now and then, and of course super yachts. They got systems engineering capability, do refits, new builds, and some of those navy boats are pretty big. There's a lot of work goes on them. And we also, as of 36 years ago, have an R&D department. And it started off with maybe 2 people, I think, 2 or 3 people. And yeah, they've had products over the years, Netlink, which you probably have never heard of, Datamaster, which you probably also have never heard of, and WASP, which you also probably have never heard of.
But we're going to hear about it today.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a bit more about WASP?
Yeah, WASP's a pretty cool product. It is a multi-beam sonar system. If you look at this diagram here, if you want to know what that is, this is a tiny little 3-dimensional picture of a boat. It's very hard to see. And the boat's kind of facing this way. And so the red's kind of the port side of the boat, and the green's the starboard side of the boat. And that's sort of the sonar beam. So it generally transmits straight down, quite wide. And as the boat moves along, you're painting a wide area of the seafloor. You get to obviously use sensor telemetry and things like that to map that in 3 dimensions. And these are just some 3-dimensional fish targets that are mapped out, and you get to draw those. So yeah, we get to do we do our own software development, and over the years we've developed a hardware team and things like that. Originally, things were more outsourced. This is some other pictures. So this is like a survey application where you've kind of gone through and mapped quite a big area, and you're really interested in the depth. This is a wreck. Bonus points if you can tell me where that is, but I recognise it because I've been over it so many times. We do quite a few sea trials. That's just a sounder display. So this is the sort of thing you use for like if you're going to do some construction, like a wind farm or something like that, you need to know what the seafloor is like. Low-end survey. We sort of play below the systems that are like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So kind of entry-level survey. Primarily we do commercial fishing type stuff, so that's like a traditional sounder display where you sort of have to throw away all this data and just show a tiny little beam of it just so that they can understand it, and also show history in a nice, easy to use 2-dimensional view. It's very versatile. That far display over there is also a seafloor map, but it is not the depth. So this is coloured by depth. That's coloured by depth a little bit. And that one over there is coloured by hardness. So you can just be driving along in a dead flat piece of seafloor and you go, oh, what's that? And you can see like a mine, or you can see some nice soft mud where you might be able to find some nice scallops or some scampi or something like that. So it's a really appealing feature, and it's one of the big sellers for our customers.
Awesome. And so what's your design and manufacturing process looks like so far?
I didn't put anything about.
Oh, you can tell us more about the you have more products actually besides just the wasp, right?
No, our main product that we build at the moment is the wasp.
Okay.
So we, this is just, that one was what it did. This is how we do it. So basically there's a transducer below the boat. It's going to be underwater, obviously. You need to hit that with a really, really high voltage signal to get anything into the water. And then you need to listen to really, 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 really tiny little signals coming back so that you can see deep enough for the customer to really want to use your system. So you have a transceiver, specialist equipment, which does sensitive receiving and the high power and try not to interfere itself and pass the MC and all those kind of things. And you also need some pretty good sensors, so we do little package kits to package that all together so the customer can just plug it in and it'll work, and they don't have to worry about that sort of thing. We don't normally supply a computer, but we make our own software, so just pretty pictures. We try and make an easy to use system which appeals to the sort of commercial fishing type person. Crayfisher guy, you can just go on the boat, pushes on, and he's got a nice picture, and you go, oh, there might be some crayfish down there. That sort of thing.
Cool. And so what's the manufacturing process like to make the wasp?
Yeah. Before you said design and manufacturing.
Oh, design and manufacturing,
but
sorry.
Anyway, no, I've only put design, manufacturing up here. It's actually a pity because I'm head of R&D and I know lots more about design. But,
they can come talk to you afterwards. Or questions in the Q&A.
So just breaking down to something that's not even my forte. We build acoustic transducers from raw materials here in New Zealand. We have ceramic, we don't build the ceramics ourselves, though our parent company does. But we buy ceramic blocks that are already polarized, and then we go through, we'd use a whole lot of jigs. You have to very accurately place all these because they're in arrays, and you can imagine kind of a focused pattern to get the sonification that we want. And we do all the wiring, encapsulation. This is someone using our urethane machine to put something. Obviously, electronics don't work very well underwater, so you need to protect them from that. And we do a whole lot of testing. This is a test tank that we have inside in our office, which just does mechanical rotations and measurements so that we can calibrate every single transducer we have. We also do assembly of. We don't do the PCBAs. I know Define helped us out putting together our early units.
They did say it was one of the hardest boards they've ever worked on.
Our Gen 2 stuff all got done, was done by them at one point. But nowadays we do that mechanical assembly in-house, and we do calibration, thermal testing and stuff like that, because it's really important when the customer gets it that we're confident that it works, because it sells for a fair bit of money, and you really want to keep your customers happy. And we also do a few little peripheral things and bits and pieces that go along with our product.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like everything is done in New Zealand. You just outsource the PCBAs still in Auckland.
They get done in Auckland as well. Yeah.
So all in New Zealand. Awesome. Cool. And how has the manufacturing process changed for you guys, over time?
Obviously we didn't. When you first start, you don't really have a product even. When I first started, we didn't really have a product that we sold. So you had an R&D department, and then you had a prototype, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, who's going to make it? And you don't know how many you're going to make, and so it grows up pretty slow, and you have just grab someone from somewhere else who's not busy and you get them to build some stuff. And I've made stuff in my time, a lot of stuff actually, but it just depends. If you need stuff built and you haven't got anyone, you just, who cares, you get it done. Yep. The first 100 transducers we had were actually built in Wellington at IRL, if anyone knows. That is what CI was before. And about 50% of them didn't meet our expectations. But, and for various reasons, we sort of kind of organically went, well, we're going to have to do this ourselves. And so we built up the capability to kind of start building this stuff. And we also, the electronics were all designed outside, but we sort of, as we kind of maintained the product and grew, we kind of went, oh, actually, it's good to have a little bit of that internally, and our skills kind of developed. And our software skills kind of grew, and then we kind of went and did a bit more embedded stuff, and then, all of a sudden I've got a transducer designer specifically in my team at the moment. And so we've got a really big sonar capability now, but what else we've got here? It's anytime you get a design and you start building it, and I'm sure there were some comments to do with this earlier, you might build it and then you go, oh, this is quite hard, or we're having trouble with this, so you look at it and go, well, we could redesign it, or do we really need that bit? Yep. Can we just do this? Just throw ideas at stuff. Something I've always been, I quite pride myself on, is just giving stupid ideas, and every now and then someone goes, oh, shit, that's a good idea. And so stuff like that. So we've had, you get a design, and the scientist says you need to do it this, and then you go, well, is that good enough? Because that would be really easy. And you need to be, for manufacturing, it's really important you have repeatability and quality. And if you can get rid of all the complicated stuff and make sure it's simple, then not only are you going to have an advantage of your competitors who are there trying to do it the complicated way, that you can guarantee quality, and then you've got a product to live on. So basically, and every now and then you go through production and go, well, why are you guys doing that? Because couldn't you do that instead? Yep. So it's good having R&D in-house, and you work on trying to improve quality and efficiency of everything as you go. As things are really professional, and have been for quite some time actually. I always find it quite impressive going into production, because they have like tidy desks and weird things like that. We don't really do that in R&D, but but yeah, it's really good, and health and safety and all those kind of things. But they have good processes and lots of tools, and they have everything they need to get things done, which is really what you need in production. So about 10 years ago, we moved to a new office, so we had a bit more space, and we also started our new generation hardware, which was all designed and not entirely in-house, but we had a few contractors that helped us out, and we put that into production, and that's going really well. And awesome. R&D team has just been getting better and better. We've been doing a project. I'm just trying to think if I'm allowed to tell you anything. Now, I've been doing a project for our parent company, which is Fruno, which you may have heard of. They don't make incredibly good radars and sonars. We're also looking forward to building new products and getting those into production. Yeah.
Awesome. It's so impressive how you guys are doing all of that in-house. Cool. And could you share maybe some key learnings? There's a lot of startups and companies in the room that are probably looking at starting their manufacturing journey. What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I mean, you got to have a good plan, but I think you need to be quite flexible. If you can build a prototype, and then you can go, oh, I can build a few of these, and you really want to get them into the market and get your customer feedback back. And admittedly, I'm not a big volume person. For us, a few hundred units is what we can do. Yep. And yes, we're pushing to try and do more and try and get into other things, but we couldn't. The idea of even doing 1,000 units is a bit terrifying. And realistically, the the consumer products, you need to be in way, way higher numbers than that. And, so we're comfortable in a different kind of area to things. But for us, we can launch a product with, a few prototypes, and then you can kind of get it working. But then you just go back, review your production. How are we going to get this done? Does the customer want this? Does he really need this? And just be flexible about, because even the customer doesn't really know what he wants.
Absolutely.
They might know what they want, but when you ask them, what do you want?
They don't know how to tell you.
Yeah.
Especially in engineering requirement terms.
Yeah, oh, definitely not on that, but yeah. No, some of the most interesting times I've had, actually, I've gone out on customers' boats, and you sit there watching them, what they're doing, and you go, oh, I see, that's what you'd want. And, oh, you're trying to do that. Oh, okay. All right, okay. Yeah, we could fix that up, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's really, but if you ask them what they want, they'll just say, I want to catch fish.
So what's your strategy to go around that? I guess going and meeting with them, like actually getting more
I mean,
familiar with their problem.
I'm not a product guy. I've just had a lot of time. So I've been at E&L for 25 years, and I started doing software programming for a UI, which of course I didn't study at university. I did electrical and electronic engineering, but I love programming, so I was like, yeah, I could probably figure it out. But then just kind of evolved into doing electronicsy stuff and commissioning technical comm systems, and then going to France to get WASP systems working, and I just because we didn't have it's a small company. I think that's one of the best things about New Zealand is your company's not very big most of the time, and so you get a lot of flavors of different types of things that are happening. And if you're like, oh yeah, I'll do it, you end up doing all kinds of cool stuff. And I've been to a lot of countries in the world, showing people how to use the product. I've done training in a whole lot of countries, and just taught people how to commission and how to service the product, how to do this, and because you need to have a distributor network, possibly, depending on what kind of model you have. I mean, nowadays you can probably just put a Facebook page up and everyone kind of goes, oh, this product's amazing, and it takes off. But for these sort of people, even now, they don't really, they probably wouldn't trust that anyway. They want to see it with their own eyes and go, yeah, okay, I guess I could buy that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome. Sweet. So thank you so much, Matthew, for telling us about your journey with E&L and WASP. Where do you see the future of sonar going? Any crazy innovations within line of sight?
Oh, there's crazy innovations probably every week in my office, but I can't really tell you much about them. I'm deliberately being vague, if anyone noticed, on almost everything I've said in the technology department, but I am working on a new project. Well, it's not new actually, it's old. So it will be in the market soon. And I'm really excited by the technology and how it's going to work. So I'm really looking forward to building companion products in that same kind of space, and also working on improving our current projects. Having said that, reusability, that's a really important thing for any company, I think. But engineering, if you can build a piece of proper IP and reuse it, that's amazing. And our new product is going to be using a lot of stuff from another product, and I take that as a good plus for R&D and everything. Yeah.
Awesome. Do your sonars integrate with other companies' displays or just yours?
Our latest version was pretty much, we said, hey, anyone who wants to use a third-party application, fine. So there's quite especially survey-type applications, there's quite a few people who kind of go, oh, well, I want to make my own survey application. There's, I don't know why, but, and there's a whole very well-established survey companies, so we kind of go, well, here's how our data talks, go at it. And we have a few sort of a partner product, which is another company, but it's also owned by Frono.
Yep.
So we're partially owned by Frono, and they're partially owned by Frono, but so we're not really competitors, but we're not allies, 100%.
Brothers?
But yeah, we're kind of, yeah, like that. Yeah, competitive brothers, maybe,
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, they have their own product and they interface with our stuff. So yeah, but just to test our system and to check that the transceivers are working, we need to do our own kit, and we don't want to wait for other people. So having our own software just to get it working is good, and we kind of, it's a different flavor, so we can sell it as a different kind of product. Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Did you make hundreds of wasps due to limited demand or limited supply? If it's limited demand, how would lower cost manufacturing affect prices or margins?
Yeah, we've probably sold 3,000 wasps or something, and in the commercial fishing kind of, which is our primary market, that's the top. So there isn't anyone better than us, but because this product didn't really exist before, we kind of said, hey, this is a cool product, and we went, oh. And then, it was kind of grown, like from, because you had a sounder and they have a sonar, but this is a totally different kind of way of doing things. But, well, it's not totally different, to be honest, but it's got a lot of strengths over those. So it's not, and at the same time, you can go, hey, I can try and make things cheaper, but if you bend over and make something cheaper and you can't sell any more to those customers, you're not really helping anyone. So a lot of it's kind of just making sure there are some very good sonar products out there, and they are more expensive, and there are some less good ones, and they are less expensive. So you sort of look at the market and go, what can you sell it for, and how much margin you have, and if it's not enough, then the company would fall over and you wouldn't have a company anymore, right? Yeah. But
so currently this making about 100 per year, you said, is
oh, that's not bad. Yeah. It's more like it's more like closer to 200 kind of range.
But that kind of fits your demand in the market right now.
Well, to be honest, it almost fits our capability. I thought there was another slide actually on this, but we're maybe I missed it. We're looking at trying to grow our production at the moment, just so our new lot of products. So hopefully we'll be able to push that up quite a bit more.
Awesome. I saw one pop up before. Someone was asking if you're hiring any mechatronics engineers for R&D. Yes?
Yeah.
No?
I'm not hiring anyone immediately, but I did actually just hire someone who's actually in this room. But
cool.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest problem for me today is just getting project concepts on paper that we can go, that is the product, and then for me to have a clean bill of health. We're always really, really busy, but I'm getting to the point where I'm like, well, I really like an approved project right now, so that I can, because it makes me feel better when things are approved, even though I know what's the best thing to do with the company is.
Yeah. Okay, last question. E&L, how long does new product introduction take in marine? Fastest, slowest?
I mean, totally new, a long time, because people are like, what's that? And you have to kind of teach them, and also possibly kind of go, well, how would you use this? Ideally not. Hopefully we won't have too many problems with our next product, but I think it will hopefully be self-explanatory. So it takes a bit of and I don't know what it's like now, but the fishing guys are a bit like, they're like, oh yeah, how are you getting on with your thing? They have like a mates club kind of thing, and you've got this doc thing, and so one guy's got the, if no one's got it, they won't know. They won't have talked to them, so they won't know about it, and so you've got to kind of show people the value in your product, and so what do? You've got to demonstrate it to them, I honestly think I don't know how marketing works. I'm not a marketing person, but to me, there's so much noise out there. Especially if you're like me and well, I guess I'm not a very good example here, but you can Google stuff, but like there's so much clutter out there. How do you get your message out? And why would anyone bother to read it? Because you've basically got to prove to them that you're telling the truth, because there's so much stuff going blah, blah, blah. This is the best product, but it's very difficult to, I don't quite understand how people get to that. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if it gets back to the point where you pretty much have to rock up to their door and say, hey, this is my product. Yeah, I'll show you it working so that you'll buy it, because people won't be paying any attention to online stuff, but who knows?
Does being part of a bigger parent company help at all with getting new clients?
It certainly helps with distribution. So like if we want to distribute something, especially commercial commercial and commercial fishing thing, and we've got a product for it. We can just say, hey, can you guys distribute this product? We're sorted. And it was actually quite interesting. Well, maybe not for you guys, but for us it was quite interesting. We had a product. We became the Freno distributor in like 1960 or something, and in between 2010 or something, I think. I'm not sure if they became a 10% shareholder of our company, or we made them our distributor for our product first. I can't remember which one happens, but around about the same time, they became so we're distributing their product, but now they were distributing our product, and it was like, whoa, this is really trippy. But yeah.
Awesome, cool. Thank you so much for sharing your journey about E&L today, Matthew. Awesome, cool. That was the end of our first hardware meetup of the year. Sorry it's taken a while. We were actually meant to host this in February, but we're here now, and that's what matters. So yeah, I'd like to thank each of our sponsors. So our partner, AMA, thank you for partnering with us for this event. Outset, where we are today, Blender, GPC, and Braymac. So big applause for our sponsors, please. Thanks.